new original content. So what else is out? This is Welcome Tour for $10. I guarantee you this will be a monster bestseller. Everyone will be doing Welcome Tour at the launch of the Switch 2. But they have to pay for it. I mean, I remember used to buy a game console. It would come with a bunch of games. It would be like, it comes with Mario, it comes with Zelda, it comes with, like 3-4 games, a big bundle. So when you're buying it, you're not just buying a console, you're buying an experience. You're buying a suite of games, and now you can enjoy this for weeks until you finally decide what will be my first original purchase. What will I add to my library? Maybe it'll be a Mega Man game, or maybe it'll be Contra, or maybe, you know what I mean? No, now you buy the console, you can't even play anything on it. It didn't even come with a demo. Even PlayStation comes with Astro's Playroom. Not this. Nintendo has completely lost their way and flipped on their head. They used to be consumer-friendly, budget-friendly, and full of innovation. Now they are anti-consumer, incredibly expensive, premium pricing, and there's zero innovation in their new console. They have completely changed their market perspective. And you know what's funny about this, guys? This isn't the first time this has happened. What ends up happening every console generation, we get a dominant winner. And that dominant winner basically forgets everything that's ever happened in their track history, okay? They become cocky. They become full of hubris, or however the hell you pronounce it. And then they walk into the next generation completely misconstrued in their head what's going on, and then they botch it, okay? Let's think about this. Nintendo, coming out of the Super Nintendo era, all right? They think their shit doesn't stink. They're the top dogs, right? They think that they're going to dominate, okay? Great. So for N64, we could go CD, or we could just continue to go on cartridge and do our own thing. Forget it. We don't want to do CD. We think we know better than everyone else. Our shit doesn't stink. Let's go for cartridges again. Well, Nintendo 64 wasn't a flop, but the PlayStation far blew N64 out of the water. Sold like hotcakes, tons of games. All the third-party games are on PlayStation 1. Nintendo was behind the times because they didn't look at innovation and technology. They were going to make a CD drive, but they didn't. They gave it away, and then Sony picked it up, and then there you have it. PlayStation just basically destroyed them, okay? Fast forward to the PlayStation 2 era. All of a sudden, PlayStation is dominant. By far, PlayStation 2 outsold original Xbox, Dreamcast, all to a competition. It is the dominant force in console. So what do they decide to do? Well, with PlayStation 3, let's just put a whole bunch of shit in there that no one wants. Let's put 6-axis controls. Let's put Bluetooth. Let's wedge in a processor called the Cell processor that is so hard to design games for that literally every third party is cringing and screaming, why are we doing this? Why is Sony putting us through this torture device? Why can't we just make games for their console? Why is it so easy to develop for PC and Xbox 360 and such a nightmare to develop for PS3? So what happened? PlayStation lost massive market share. They were the top dominant console the generation before, but they lost tons of market share during this era because they came in so cocky. Fast forward to the next console generation. Xbox 360 is dominant because PlayStation fumbled the ball. Now, by the end of that console gen, it was pretty neck and neck, and some would even argue PlayStation overtook Xbox 360 at the very end. But Xbox was dominant for a very long time and known as a world leader in console games. So what do? They come out with the Xbox One, which forces people to have a Kinect that no one wants. You can't even buy the console without the Kinect. They have a whole bunch of awful PR about games are going to go all digital. You won't be able to share games with your friends. You won't be able to trade in games. All that's going away. And the entire world rallies against them and says, no, Don Matrick, you idiot. We don't want that. We want tradable games, shareable games, no forced motion controls with the Kinect. We want this and this and this. And what happens? Hubris, arrogance, confidence makes Xbox fumble the ball. And they went into that console gen dominant, and they completely were crushed by PlayStation during the PS4 era. Xbox One literally failed where Xbox 360 had shined. Okay? So now we fast forward to the situation with Nintendo. So after having failed a couple consoles, N64, GameCube, yeah, they were popular, but they weren't as good as PlayStation. So now they come out with the Switch. Excuse me. They come out with the Wii. The Wii is a dominant force because of motion control. The gimmick works. The whole world wants a Wii because they want to stand in front of their TV, dancing around, waggling the Wiimotes all over the place, right? So Nintendo does it. They became the sales leader again. They're beating their competition. They're selling software like hotcakes. Even crappy shovelware is selling on this thing. Accessories, everything. Amazing. So what do? Overconfidence, hubris, arrogance. Let's make the Wii U. Well, wait a minute. Who's asking to have a screen on the gamepad? Did you ever say, I want the screen on my gamepad? No, I don't think a single person. What they wanted was a hybrid that was kind of a portable and a home console. The Wii U was not that. It kind of pseudo, represented that, but it wasn't. You couldn't just take your Wii U gamepad and leave your house. It wouldn't work. So it didn't make sense. And no one wanted it, and it flopped. Huge. One of the biggest failures Nintendo's ever done. So you would think, man, we kind of blew it with the N64. The GameCube didn't do well. Man, the Wii U is a failure. You would think Nintendo would have learned from all of these experiences and said, we're going to do better now. No. It's as if because the Switch now has been a hit, they forgot their whole history again. It's this simple. History. If you don't study it, acknowledge it, and learn from it, it is destined to repeat itself. Nintendo thinks it's still the 1990s. They really believe that. They don't understand the market. They don't understand what's going on right now in the world. And they're trying to sell you an underpowered console with features that every other console has already had for years. And they're touting it like it's some innovative console that's actually next gen, which it very much is not. They're charging you premium prices for games you've already played. They're nickel and diming you for upgrades, just incremental upgrades too. Oh, slightly better resolution, little bit better frame rate for a game you already own on the previous console. They're charging you massive amounts of money for accessories. You need a proprietary EX speed memory card that's going to run you $100 to $200 to be able to store a certain amount of games. They have learned nothing. They just think, hey, it's time for us to keep trying to milk the cow. Because honestly, when you look at a situation like this, I feel now that those who are in charge at Nintendo actually just see their consumers as an income source. I hate to say that because you want to think, oh, no, this company actually cares about its culture. It cares about its gamer base, its player base, its consumer base. And, I don't believe that. Not anymore. When I look at this as $30 amiibos, $80 for a game that's 4 or 5 years old and you already played, that doesn't scream to me, oh, we care. That screams to me, we don't care and all we want is more income and we don't give a shit about your feelings, about your budget, about the situation in the world right now. All we care about is pumping profits out while we can get them. And that way, if we make tons of money on the launch of Switch 2, who cares if then there's like a big slope down for a while? At least we made our money now and we pocketed it, so we're good. And then maybe there'll be another slump like we had with the Wii U, but it's fine because we know our consumers are stupid. We know our customer base is dumb and a cult, and they're going to buy anything anyway. So if, hey, they won't buy games, we'll just sell more $30 amiibos for 4 years, and then we'll come back with another console that people will buy again. It's a pretty bad circle, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I'm 2 days into this thing, and I'm trying to think of it positively. And to be honest, I'm excited for Mario Kart Tour. World Tour. It looks great. I'm excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza. It looks really good. I'm excited for Metroid Prime 4. But outside of that, 3 things that we've seen, I'm literally excited for nothing else. I don't want to play third-party titles on the Switch 2. I don't see the point. I don't want to buy Street Fighter 6 and play it on Switch 2. I can already play it on PC at the best graphics possible with no input delay with my insanely high-end Rolls-Royce of joysticks. Why do I want to play this on the Switch 2, likely with input delay, likely with lag, on an inferior controller? Why would I want to do that? I'm not stupid. I don't get it. I'm lost. What's the value proposition of the Switch 2? With the Switch, it was the first truly hybrid portable home console, okay? I get that value proposition. With the Wii, it was the first time ever full motion controls, be a part of the action. Okay, I get it. That makes sense to me. What's the value proposition of the Switch 2? Better graphics? We have those. Better graphics for just Nintendo properties? Is that worth $900? Because that's what you're going to pay. $450 for the console. You got to get a Pro controller because you know the Joy-Cons aren't going to be very good. You got to get an expansion memory card. That's $100 to $200, and each game's $80, $90. You're spending $900 on this console whether you like it or not. So, yeah, it's a sad situation. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And just for the record, of course I want to get one. Number one, I want to do an awesome console unboxing for you guys. For the first time ever, I want to use my new setup here to live unbox a console, show you what it looks like, describe it, hook it up, do that hands-on experimentation on day one when it comes out to show you exactly what it's capable of. I want to play the games to show you what it is. I'm a content creator. It's my job, right? As a consumer, if this were me buying a Switch 2 for myself, I literally wouldn't. I'd be like, it's not worth it to just buy this console just for Mario Kart, then wait a month and just play Donkey Kong and then have it sit there and collect dust. Literally, I wouldn't do that at all. I would wait. I would wait for a price drop. I would wait for more games. Buy this thing in a year or two when there's like 10 good games for it. Then I would get it. But I'm a content creator. I've got to cover it. It's my job. It's the content you want. I know that if I cover the Switch 2 launch, you guys will love it. It's going to bring in attention, views, support. I get that. So, I'll bite the bullet. I'll spend all that money so that we can see together what exactly the Switch 2 is all about. All right? And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll actually be impressed and blown away. You never know. But all I can do is I can tell you what I'm seeing up front. What I'm seeing up front is that this thing is not impressive, and it seems to be a huge ripoff, in my opinion. Now, if you guys don't mind, I got a catch in my nail. It's been bothering me for the last 20 minutes, and I want to go take care of it, and then we'll continue on. I'll be right back.